Hello and welcome to A New Day with Susan. And today I am here with Erin Summ. Since 2008, Erin has been on her own journey from shy to confidence. She used to be so fearful of being seen and heard in school. The thought alone of asking a question gave her major anxiety, and she'd chicken out. But her vision was always bigger than her fears. So fast forward, and she now has a thriving confidence coaching business, is sought out to be a speaker. She's an author and hosts her own events and retreats, supporting women entrepreneurs to get past their own fears, gain confidence, and make more money. Erin holds a bachelor's degree in psychology and is a certified professional coach. Welcome, Erin. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome. I love getting people from all over the world to come in and share their messages and their stories and what they're up to, in hopes that it inspires and empowers our listeners to maybe take action in their own life and achieving their goals. So
yeah.
It's always fun to talk to people from around the world. So where are you from?
I am near Sacramento in California.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice and warm there right now.
It's not too bad. Yeah. About 65 or so it feels pretty nice outside.
Yeah. See, that would be like springtime weather for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty chilly here right now. We keep getting some little bit of, higher numbers in the heat thing there, but it's, like yesterday we got another inch of snow.
Oh man.
I know. I definitely am supposed to be in a state during the winter. I should be in maybe Sacramento. I used to live in San Clemente for maybe a year at the most.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had fun. I was only like 12 years old, and I was kind of a wild child. I went to the Monsters of Rock concert. I told my mom I was spending the night with a friend, and yeah, it was pretty wild.
Sounds like it.
Well, enough about me. So let's talk about you and your story. Like, what brought you to want to speak on the topic of courage?
Yeah, well, so I'll just tell you a little bit my story first, because that's going to give you a really good insight as to why I wanted to speak about courage with you today. So I grew up a very shy child. I was really shy, even family friends and things. A lot of times I would be really shy around them, even though I knew them well. And but I always had this fire in my belly. I always knew that there was something more and bigger to my life. And so even though I was shy, I always did things outside my comfort zone to help make a difference. When I was little, I found out that there was a group called Kids for Saving Earth, and I started my own chapter in my town and had a few kids from school, and I taught them how to do things like make solar ovens and fun things like that.
Wow.
And then I went to college and got a psychology degree. And even in class, I was so shy all the time that if I had a question, I just refused to ask it, because I would almost have a mini panic attack just thinking about asking the question. Yeah, but I was always doing things to help other people outside my comfort zone, because I always had a bigger vision than my fears, right? I always stepped outside my comfort zone and held, was courageous, even though I was fearful. So I went to work after college in a group home with foster kids, which I loved, but I wasn't really feeling as fulfilled as I wanted to. At-risk youth don't typically tell you what a big difference you're making in their life.
Right.
If you could imagine. Yeah. So I found coaching. I had gone to some network marketing parties with the same woman who over and over a few times, and she started talking about how easy it was and how you can make extra money. And I thought, well, this sounds fun and would really get me outside my comfort zone, and I could make some extra money because working in the group home wasn't exactly a big payer.
Right, right.
So I joined the company, and that was a huge, huge leap outside my comfort zone. And it was actually passion parties. It wasn't Tupperware or jewelry or makeup.
Yeah, I remember passion parties. I actually was a pure romance consultant.
Okay, yeah. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. So it was like this ginormous leap outside my comfort zone to do that and stand in front of groups of women and sell things that went buzz in the night and things like that. But the reason I did it was because I knew I needed to get outside my comfort zone and grow personally and grow my confidence in order to do bigger things with my life down the road, right?
Nice, yeah.
So that was a huge leap of courage, and I did that for 5 years. I grew my team. It grew my confidence in huge ways, and I met my first life coach then, and that was really what set me on the path to coaching, because I learned that you could change your life by changing your thoughts, and being more courageous and doing these different things to change your life and your mindset. So I met my first life coach through there, and I started thinking, this is really, really what I want to do. It was really, I felt so passionate about coaching. And then when I finally fell into my niche, it was like, well, obviously it's working with women like me, right? Who maybe are shy, or they don't feel good enough. They don't feel worthy of creating the success that they want, and helping them step past those fears and those beliefs about themselves that are holding them back, so that they can actually be successful and be courageous and stand in their power and all of that kind of thing,
Yeah. And through all that, you discovered your own courage, confidence, and what I hear is also being fully self-expressed.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely don't seem like somebody that would be shy right now.
Right. I mean, that was 2008 when I started on that journey, when I joined passion parties. And so it's been 10 years. And even every year people say, wow, you've shifted so much. You've really come into your, who you are and your confidence, every single year it changes.
Right.
So it's really fun to do that and to watch other people change and grow as I'm coaching them and supporting them with their courage and confidence as well.
Well, I think as we're coaching people and you start seeing their results and how they're blossoming, it's like our brain needs to know out here that there's some physical thing actually happening to believe it, to boost our own, and I think it takes courage to, even before you get to confidence, because it takes a level of courage to just step out and talk, especially in passion parties. I mean, it's hilarious. You know what I mean? I had fun doing the parties just because it was so fun seeing the ladies talk and just laugh. And I think for me, it was more of just the connection, but so, well, that's really awesome. So when you're coaching, I also noticed you do retreats, and you're just doing all kinds of things. Why don't you tell us more about what it is that you're doing?
Yeah. Well, so I do quarterly visioning workshops in person and online. So what we do in these is it's initially started with just, getting together, talking about limiting beliefs, and then building vision boards. But now it's grown more into, we talk about these beliefs, we get into what they really, really want in their lives. Because when we start dreaming, it's usually, we dream much smaller than we can, because we fear not reaching that, and we don't think we can have those things, and all these different limiting beliefs. So we talk a lot about that in the workshop. It's a full day of breaking down those beliefs that are holding you back, dreaming much bigger, and then we create these boards and we share them with the group, and everyone gets to share their vision and be supported in that. And they're super fun events, day-long workshops, which is really, really fun. And so I do those online too.
Cool.
And then I'm doing my first retreat this year. I'm very excited.
Yay.
It's going to be a couple of days of just really breaking down those blocks and barriers and those beliefs that we just hold on to. And some of the times we don't even know that they're there. I had a client once who I had known her for a couple of years, but we hadn't really worked together. I just saw her several times, and she would say, well, my husband doesn't want me, he's not wanting to be me, he's not supportive of me and my business. So I'm not moving forward with it because he's not supportive. And after she finally hired me, we were talking one day and I was asking her some questions to dig in deeper, and she got really quiet for a second. She says, it's not my husband at all. I just realized, she said, my dad always said women couldn't be successful. So all these years, she was in her 50s, and he even went as far as to quit a job when a woman became his boss.
Wow.
Yeah. And he'd been dead for over 20 years. And she still had this belief lodged way back in her subconscious mind that she didn't even realize she had, that women couldn't be successful. And so this is what happens is we tend to have these beliefs. We don't even realize that they're there, but they're holding us back from everything we want. And it blocks us from seeing the reality of the world, right? Because if she had known that she had that block, or if she hadn't even had that block, she would have been able to see the millions of women who are highly successful in the world.
Right.
So these are the types of things that I do with my clients, is to help them to see, well, I think you have this belief that might be stopping you. Let's explore that a little bit and see what that is, so that you can move forward. And ever since she had that realization, she started speaking and doing classes and training.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I know.
What I really love is seeing these breakthroughs and the changes in this women, to help them grow.
Yeah, that is amazing. That's a great story. So thinking of yours, where you were, always shy, what was your limiting belief?
That's a really good question. I think there was a lot of stuff. I think there was the not good enough. And with shyness, so I also work with introverts too. So with introversion and extroversion, we're born that way. It's an innate thing, just like we're born a female or a male, right?
Right.
It's a personality that we're born with. But the shyness we inherit because of things that happen in our lives. Maybe there's, some tumultuous things going on at home or at school. Maybe there's bullying or something like that, where we develop this shyness. So introversion can't be changed, right? We're always going to be an introvert. We can develop qualities that are more extroverted, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people, when I'm out there and I'm speaking and things, people go, you're an introvert? I go, yeah, I am. I have to go home after this and hang out by myself, So those things can't be changed. We can learn how to deal with them in different ways to, create more success and different things like that. But the shyness, that's something that we develop to keep us safe. And so we can get out of that. So that's what I've been doing in the last 10 years, is getting past those beliefs and those, the fear of being seen and all of that.
Like a cover up to something else. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I was totally thinking about a time. I recently, actually, probably about a month ago, had a breakthrough in the limiting. I had a belief that I was stupid, but I didn't know that I was stupid. It was, what kept coming up was, I don't know what kind of content to send my community and my list, and I've written really great stuff, and I'm very smart because I've done a lot of work to prove to myself that I'm smart enough. And so I got some coaching, obviously, and my coach said, she asked me a couple of questions, and she said, and I know that it's always from the past, it stems from the past. I just didn't see the blind spot of that it was actually, what I was saying was I'm stupid. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, well, when did I decide that I was stupid? And it happened when I was in 4th grade. Other kids were like picking on me, and they would call me stupid. And I actually bought into that.
Right.
And so this whole time, here I am. And the impact of that was I wasn't putting myself out there, being fully self-expressed and sharing my great knowledge and owning that. And so when I got that, and it's funny how it shows up in your life and your relationships. And because I used to think that my husband, if he came into the kitchen and said something silly like, well, here, let me show you how to do that. And in my mind, I interpreted what he was saying as, you must be stupid because you're not doing it right. Let me show you how. And I would be snappy or defensive. So anyways, after I got that, I cleaned all that up with him and my mom even. And after that, I went right into massive action and just started. I created all of month of March's content in April and,
nice.
And just action after action. So it just came into an alignment. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. What we do.
Yeah. And I love that because as soon as we can realize what that belief is or thought is that's holding us back, we can do so much more. I've seen it happen so many times. And, speaking of what you were just talking about, I used to feel that way too because I was an introvert. And so anytime I was in a group setting, I was always really quiet. I didn't have things to input. I didn't know what to say in the group. Say if we were in a college class or something, I was always really quiet. And it took me until I started really learning about what it meant to be an introvert to realize that we just are that way. We like to observe and our thoughts come a little slower. We like to think about what we want to say first. And so I was always like, contemplating and thinking and listening and observing. And in my head, that was, well, I'm not smart enough to input anything. Right. I had that thought. And now that I know that it's a trait of introversion to just listen first and really mull it over, I was able to get rid of that belief.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a couple of introverts in my family. And I know I used to have thoughts like there must be something wrong with me, So I think, if you just pay attention to your feelings that are showing up or how you're reacting to people, it definitely is an access to causing a breakthrough in those belief systems. And
that's
really awesome. And it's a certain amount of courage to want to go in and dig deep around that stuff.
Yep. And I always say awareness is key. Until you're aware that something's stopping you, every time you go to pick up the phone, if you freak out, what's that about, or if you are scared to do X, Y, or Z, just start asking yourself.
Yeah.
I used to get really tired. I would be fine. And then I would say, oh, I have to go do this thing, make a phone call or whatever it is that scared me. And all of a sudden I would just get so tired. I have to go take a nap. Well, eventually I started picking up on the pattern. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Right.
Oh
so
my gosh.
Okay. So this is a fear. This is not, I'm actually tired. This is a fear or an overwhelm or, and then I was able to change that. Yeah.
Well, I bet your team loved you. I mean, to have somebody who could work through the processes of that, because, I love the MLM industry. I absolutely love it because there's a freedom and it's about challenging yourself and your thinking and it pushes you beyond your comfort level if you're willing to go there.
Right.
Unfortunately, a lot of people go into it with this mindset, I'm gonna get rich quick. And unfortunately, it's because that's the message that they're receiving from whoever.
Right.
And then they give up. And then they're blaming the company or whatever. And it's nothing to do with the company or whatever. It has to do completely with the person and them dealing. Could you imagine if they had us to coach them?
Right.
They would be like earning money and being free and having that freedom in their life.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's awesome. So if you could leave a message, well, actually, what does courage mean to you?
So I would say courage means, well, a lot of things, but feeling the fear and doing it anyway, stepping out of that fear and that your comfort zone and just doing it. And it doesn't have to be, you know, I took a big, huge leap joining passion parties and doing that, but I've taken tons of baby steps, and that's courage too. Even if you took the tiniest little baby step outside your comfort zone, that's also courage.
Yeah.
Right. Because it takes courage to be able to get outside your comfort zone at all. And a lot of people aren't even willing to do that. So if you're willing to get outside your comfort zone, whether that's a baby step or a huge leap or something in between, that's courage.
Yeah.
To go for what you want, right? To go for that thing that you want, to make the change that you want to make in your own life and for other people.
Yeah.
So that's why I do what I do. That's why I'm constantly courageous, because I love helping other people to make changes in their life and to live a better life, to love themselves more, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
So I know that you worked through the shyness, but what is a big area that you would say has been the biggest breakthrough for you that took a mass amount of courage?
Well, beginning to speak was a pretty big one. I am a speaker, so I do a lot of speaking now, but I think I did my first speech in 2013, I want to say. And that was pretty scary because I wasn't used to standing up in front of people and speaking. I mean, I did the passion parties and did all that, but that was different because I was selling somebody else's product.
Right.
When you're speaking in your own business and your coaching business, you're selling yourself. So that was a huge thing for me to get through. And the way I did it, because a lot of people ask me that, how did you start speaking, get past that shyness, is I was going to a weekly networking event, and it was fairly small, about 10 people usually every week. And so I was going to this group week after week after week, and they asked me to speak, and I said yes, because I was comfortable with the group. So it made it a lot easier. I was still really scared, and I practiced that speech, and I wrote out every single word, and
nice.
That was my first try at speaking.
Yeah.
And, because I felt comfortable with the people there, it helped a little bit, and I knew that they were really supportive of me.
Yeah.
But that was a huge moment, to finally do that first speech.
Yeah.
And
so what are some things that you do with your clients to help them move through so that they have the courage, or where it'll show up for them?
Yeah, well, I really encourage them. First, I mentioned the visioning workshops earlier. I like to start with the vision. That's a huge piece in my programs, because if you don't have a vision, if you don't have somewhere that you're going, it's kind of like getting in the car and going on a road trip without a map, right? You don't have any idea where you're going, then you're not really going to get, there's nowhere to go. So I like to start with the big vision, because when you get into fear and you start to stop yourself and you start to doubt yourself, just keep going back to that vision and looking at, who am I doing this for? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? Are you doing it for your family? Are you doing it for your clients? Look at that, and why do you want it? And start there. And then, okay, let's look at what's holding you back, and let's help you to move through those things, and always keep your eye on your vision. Because if I ever get into fear, I just look up at my vision board that's right in front of my desk, and I go, oh yeah, that's why I'm doing this, for those women, for these things, right? And it's important to create your vision with things that are outside of you, because we tend to give up on ourselves first, but we're not going to give up on our kids or our families or our clients, right? We're going to fight to the death for them.
Right. Yeah.
So include those things in your vision.
Nice.
Did I answer the question?
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's a way that you help your clients discover their own courage. Yeah.
Yeah. So to help them, because you have to be going somewhere first. You have to have your eye on something. So I say, keep your eye on the vision. What are you doing this for? And it really helps people. I mean, even within a few weeks or even a few days of the visioning class, usually there's at least one person, if not more, that say, oh my gosh, you won't imagine, you can't believe the things that have just fallen in my lap since the visioning workshop. And they start speaking and training and doing all these things that they never did before, growing their teams, all these different things.
Yeah. That's
pretty
awesome. So look, I'm sure you have tons of clients that you could probably say are all courageous. but what's one that has been like the most courageous that just stands out in your mind right now?
Let me think here. I know there's a couple. So one of them, her name was Elizabeth, and is Elizabeth. She came to my visioning workshop last year, so 2017, and she had a lot of gremlins. She'd gone through a divorce. I'm not sure how many years prior, but she had grown kids and things, and she was really wanting to move forward with her business. She's a massage therapist, but she felt like she was really holding herself back. So we started looking at the gremlins and the limiting beliefs and things, and she created her vision board, and she had 3 main things on her vision board. One was to start speaking, which terrified her. The second thing was to travel alone, which she'd never done before, and that also scared her to death.
Oh,
and
wow.
The other one was to find love. And so I had my second one in July of last year, and that was, from January to July, what is 6 or so months, let's say. She said, I have to sign up for your next visioning class. I need to make a new vision board. And I said, really? Tell me. It's only been 6 months, and yeah, I need to make a new one. I've done everything I've done the main things on my vision board. Said, really?
Wow.
Yeah, I joined Toastmasters, and I started speaking, and I actually joined the leadership team. So I'm actually bringing in new members as well. I traveled to Sedona, Arizona to a retreat, and I did that by myself. I was there for several days, and she said I actually even walked on fire while I was there. She said I did it once, and I thought that was just a fluke. I could never do that again. So she did it 5 more times to prove to herself that she
Wow.
And she found the love of her life, and they met online, and he lives a block and a half away from her.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And so now
That's amazing.
Yeah. So she came to my second vision board workshop and created a much bigger vision to create a healing center. So she has a massage studio, but she wants to create a healing center where there's lots of different healers that come together and do that type of work. So she's amazing. She's had some major things happen and breakthroughs.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. That's really amazing.
Thanks.
So I can't imagine I can't imagine what when you see people having those kinds of results and you were causing the matter of them having that kind of experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Thanks. I have one more. Can I share another one?
Yeah. There
was another woman at that 2017 January Vision Board workshop, and she wrote to me in November. I'd reached out to a bunch of people, and she emailed me and said, so I don't know if you remember, but at the visioning workshop, she said, I was feeling really frustrated because I was trying to do this vision and I was trying to figure out how to make it happen, right? Which is what we do a lot of times. We dream smaller because we think we have to figure out how to make it happen. Mm-hmm. Yes, you have to take the steps and take certain steps to get to your goals and your vision. But when you have this big vision, a lot of times things just kind of fall into place. And so she said, I was really frustrated because here I had this big vision, but I was like, how am I going to make this happen? Right?
Wow.
Yeah. And she said, my vision board had, again, 3 things on it, main things. One was to travel the world. One was to use my English degree. And one was to do my photography hobby more. So she said, here I am 10 months later. I'm living in China. I'm teaching children how to speak English, and I'm traveling around doing my photography.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Because she was able to let go of the how. Mm-hmm. Things just fell into place.
Right. And that's so true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. Oh my gosh.
I love
if a lot of people just got that in itself,
mm-hmm.
they could have some major breakthroughs.
Yes.
Wow.
I was looking at my vision board in January. I had a bunch of speaking gigs and I wasn't able to reach out to do like these types of things. I'm trying to get into the habit of reaching out for webinars and podcasts and different things. And January was just so jam-packed, I couldn't do that. And I was looking at my vision board, and there's a world on it with people holding hands and making impact and all these things. And I looking at it, I go, gosh, I just don't have the time to do this reach out that I want to do. And before I knew it, I had two different people email me out of the blue, never talked to or met them before in my life. They weren't on my list. They weren't on my Facebook, nothing. They said, I did a search. I'm doing a webinar series. I did a search for you. Not for you, but I did a search on confidence coaches or something. Found you and would love to have you on my webinar. And so in February, I recorded 2 different webinars for people that, and I didn't do anything.
Wow, that is so awesome.
That's what can happen when you have a big vision and you're stepping out in other ways. I was doing a lot of other things, but these things fell into place.
Right on. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So, and you have actually a couple of free gifts that you're offering to the listeners today. Would you like to share more about those?
I do. Yeah, absolutely. So I have a couple of things. One of them is a free report. It's called The 7 Secrets to Lasting Confidence for More Clients and Money in the Bank. And this free report has 7 secrets, obviously, to how to break through your blocks and have more confidence, grow your confidence to make more money in your business. And that you can find at my website, erinsumm.com /7 secrets. It's the number 7 secrets.
Awesome.
Yeah. And the other one is a webinar I host regularly. It's the top 3 keys to unlock your confidence for more profits and success. And they can just go to my website and sign up for that at erinsumm.com /3 keys to confidence. It's the number 3 keys to confidence, all spelled out. And that happens every couple of weeks. So if they just sign up, they'll get the date for the next one and they'll get to hop on, and we talk about what's holding you back, how to be more courageous and have more confidence and build, get rid of some of those fears and not good enoughs and all of that to have more confidence and make more money in your business.
Yeah, I'll have to jump on one of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Would love to have you.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll post some more information. I'll post those links so that everybody gets access to those to make sure that they get those. Let me see. Make sure I got all my questions. Is there anything that you would like to leave the listeners with before we end today's show?
Yes, I would love to just encourage you to just take that first step, because I know that you have a big mission and you have a big vision for your life and you want to make a difference in the world. And if you're holding yourself back, I encourage you just take that first baby step. It does not have to be massive. It can just be a little step forward to move you towards your goals and your vision for your life, because you have so much value to bring to the world and to the peeps that are out there waiting for you. There are people out there that need what you have to say. They need your message and they need you. So take that step, stand in your courage and confidence. You are good enough. You can do it. So get out there. Stop waiting.
Love it. Thank you so much, Erin, for being here today. And I want to thank the listeners for jumping on and tuning in to the show. Also, go to my Facebook page, A New Day with Susan, and you will find Erin's information there to get your hands on those freebies. And looking forward to your comments, and keep pouring in those excellent comments and ideas. And you guys, I'll see you tomorrow.